and we're really live on Spotify. You can go there by searching the First Inning Radio Show. Or if you don't have Spotify or you have some other podcast thing that you listen to, you can Google us, the First Inning Radio Show, and you'll find a platform for us to listen, for you to listen. And I am the BX Bomber 2011 along with Roger, the big Yankee fan. Say hello, Roger.
Hello, good evening, BX Bomber. For today's show, we're doing it in the evening. Recently, we've been doing it in the late morning, but today's show is in the early evening. And the Yankees have really had a very good week, but they are running into a little difficulty with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, man. And today's lineup card is Aaron Hicks, Luke Voigt, Sherla, Ford, DHing, Torres, Sanchez, Gardner, and Frazier in right field, and Estrada at second base because we're missing out on DJ LeMahieu, man.
Yes, exactly. And for the week in review, I will get through that quickly. And what happened is on our last show, we discussed that the Yankees had a 9-6 victory over the Braves, and that evening, the Yankees had a 6-3 victory over the Braves at Yankee Stadium. And Tanaka had a 4-inning start, and Loaisiga replaced him in the 5th inning. And Sanchez had a nice home run in the 2nd inning, and Frazier had a home run going back to back with Sanchez as well. And the Yankees added 2 runs in the 4th inning, and Ottavino got the save. And then the Boston Red Sox came into town, and the Yankees had a 10-3 victory over the Boston Red Sox. And Garrett Cole was untouchable in the first 3 innings, and he pitched 7 innings and had 8 strikeouts. And Torres had a double in the 3rd inning, driving in 2 runs. And Tauchman also had a double driving in Torres in the 3rd inning. And Sanchez hit a 457-foot home run in the 5th inning. And Heller recorded the last 3 outs. And then for the next game, the Yankees won 11-5 over Boston. And Urshela had a home run in the 1st inning. And Frazier went 3 for 3 with a home run, a double, and had 5 runs batted in. Frazier's on fire. And Sanchez also had a home run in the 4th inning. And Torres was 2 for 4 with 1 run scored. And DJ LeMahieu does leave that game with a thumb injury at that point in time, and hopefully he'll be back within 2 to 3 weeks. And Paxton had a dud in the 3rd inning, allowing 3 runs. But other than that, he was pretty solid. And then for the 3rd game, against the Boston Red Sox, Happ had a season best outing as the Yankees won 4-2. And Ford had a 2-run home run. And for the final game against the Red Sox, the Yankees won 6-3. And Montgomery pitched 3 2/3 innings before the rain delay came. We had a rain delay. And Boyd crushed 2 home runs. And Estrada also had a home run. And Chapman finally made his season debut, coming in and getting the save. Or actually, yes, he got the save, and he was pitching at 100 and 101 miles per hour. So that was fantastic. Chapman looked good and felt really good. And now the Rays have come in to town, and the Yankees have run into trouble with the Rays. Tanaka really got knocked out pretty badly, allowing 6 runs in the game. But Boyd did have a home run, and Sanchez did have a pass ball. It was a pretty bad pass ball because it was a pitch that he should have handled. So the Yankees have lost 4 out of 5 to the Rays, and they have to get it going tonight with Garrett Cole going for the Yankees tonight, and that's where we stand now.
Yeah, man, it's very important that the Yankees beat the Rays, man, because the Rays could take the division if they keep winning like this. You know what I mean? Because they're number
Yes,
1 in the
exactly.
wild card as well. So it's not good. It's really not good. The
Right.
Yankees gonna have to capitalize on these wins if they can win. Because if we start losing more games to the Rays, that's gonna be bad for us. You know, so
Yes, exactly. Exactly. The Yankees right now are at 16 wins and 7 losses, and the Rays are at 15 wins and 9 losses, the game and a half behind. In the Central, Minnesota is in first place at 16-8, with Cleveland right behind them at 14-9. And in the West, Oakland is in first place at 16-8, with Houston got onto a little bit of a winning streak, and they are 13
yeah,
and 10. And
Henry
those are
Henry is saying they're only a game and a half back.
yes, they are a game and a half back. The Yankees. Hello, Henry. Good to see you. And the Yankees are at 16 wins and 7 losses, and Tampa Bay is at 15 wins and 9 losses. Exactly, one game and a half back. And this evening we will have Garrett Cole on the mound.
It's crazy how the Yankees are dominating, but they're still trailing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though that they started off really good start and everything, they still trailing because now the Rays is coming out of the gate like they on fire now. You know?
Yeah. Yes. The Rays are playing some very good baseball and are just a game and a half out, as Henry said. And we have Garrett Cole going tonight. And unfortunately, DJ LeMahieu is going to be out. Hopefully, he might be back after 2 weeks, but they feel it could possibly be 3 weeks. And there was no ligament or bone damage in his thumb. It's just a bad sprain. He's going to have to get through it. He had something like that happen to him a couple years back when he was with the Colorado Rockies with a thumb injury, and he was actually back after 2 weeks. So maybe he might be able to get back after 2 weeks. And they're talking about Judge coming off sooner rather than later. Possibly, we'll see if Judge is able to play by this weekend, by the 22nd of August. That he's due to come off the injured list.
Man, Judge better get it together, man, because eventually he's gonna be he's gonna be a player that nobody wants. You know, because it's like, and him and Stanton, it's like you expect them to do so great, and then they get hurt, and then they're out for a whole season. It's like, like how are you supposed to be legendary and all this other stuff if you're not even playing? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like your career is turning worthless. It's you know, it's like it's turning into worthlessness, especially with Stanton. That's real bad, man. You know, I have a lot of hope for these two guys, and it's like, you know, it's like, come on, man, like you gonna get hurt again? It's like, man, so what? So now we got to worry about them ripping out the judges' chambers out in right field one day when they get rid of them.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? You know?
Yeah, really, it's a case of, they're fantastic players, but, there is a question about their durability because they are injured so much. I mean, both of them feel very badly. Judge did not even want to go on the injured list, but, the Yankees put him on out of precautionary reasons. And of course, Stanton feels very badly too. But as you're saying, maybe they should do the weightlifting during the off season and just work on stretching and calisthenics during the season. And because they would have been missing the beginning of the season this year, but because of the pandemic and everything, they were ready to play by late July. But boom, they play a couple of weeks and boom, they're right on the injured list again. And fortunately, the Yankees have a very deep lineup, though.
That's the good part about it. You know, but the thing is, you know what? These injuries things started happening in the from the Aaron Judge era, right? From when Aaron Judge first started with Severino and Sanchez and all these guys, they're the era of getting hurt every season. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it wasn't like that before they got there to the Yankees. You know what I mean? Like players got hurt, yeah, but it wasn't like every year. You know what I mean? Like a player might get hurt and might get on a 10-day disabled list or something. Well, now injured list and stuff like that. But now it's like every year, and now it's like they can come back and go back on the injured list again if they play. It's like, you know.
what you're saying. But remember in 2013, remember Mark Teixeira used to get injured quite a bit, and Giambi also was injured quite a bit, and Teixeira took over for Giambi. And Teixeira in 2013, the Yankees had that massive amount of injuries that they had to Teixeira and A-Rod, remember? And they brought in Vernon Wells and that whole crowd. And the Yankees
Well,
finished with 84 wins that year in 2013.
right. Mark Teixeira was hurt because he kept fouling the ball off his ankles. That's the
Right.
reason why he was hurt. You know, it wasn't because he was playing, diving and playing the field. These guys are getting hurt playing the field. Running around the bases, these guys are dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A guy like Jason Giambi, he was breaking down because the steroids wore off. You know? Remember that time he got really sick with the flu?
Yes.
Allegedly, that was a lie. That was because that was a relapse of the steroids.
I see.
You know what I mean?
see.
That's what got him, because he stopped taking the steroids, and that's what made him sick. You know what I mean? And then from there, the whole scandal came out. A-Rod got busted that year. Andy Pettitte got busted that year. And everybody else on the list got busted. Pudge Rodriguez, all kind of people got busted. Manny Ramirez, all kind of people. You know, so... And you know what's crazy too, though, is that the steroids era, right? They didn't really get hurt that much. You know, in the steroids era. You know, because they were using, like, Andy Pettitte, for example, right? And A-Rod. What they were doing is they had a doctor that was taking out their blood, freezing it in a lab in Canada somewhere, and then when they got hurt, let's say their knee busted, right? They would take that blood that's frozen and re-inject them with it, with all the nutrients in it. That's a form of steroids. That's what A-Rod got busted for. Technically, he never got busted for it or tested positive for anything. His name was just on a list of allegedly taking steroids. So he was never actually, he was never actually busted. But Andy Pettitte was, and Jason Giambi and everybody else was, because they tested positive for it in the urine. A-Rod never tested positive. Let's get that straight. You know?
Andy Pettitte said that he was taking a type of steroid when he was injured. He claimed to have been rehabilitating from an injury. He was taking a steroid at that time and didn't realize what he was taking. That's what Andy Pettitte initially said.
Yeah, but that's a form of steroids. That's a form of doping. They call it doping. You know, that's what they that's a form of what the Olympics do. You know?
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And remember Giambi, how slender he got all of a sudden after he stopped taking the steroids. Giambi really thinned down and became like an incredible shrinking man.
Yeah, man. Also, let me shout out to Michael Caputo. That's my guy. He's back on. He says the Rays. He says the Rays have become a pain in the butt for the Yankees, and it's true.
Yes, they most certainly have, Michael. The Rays have beaten the Yankees 4 out of 5 games. But we have your favorite going tonight. Garrett Cole is going tonight for the Yankees. So let's get a good, strong Yankees win tonight.
He also says Yankees are getting Judge back Saturday, and DJ and Stanton will be back in 2 weeks.
Okay, fantastic. Yes, that's what we were just talking about, Michael. We were talking about Aaron Judge possibly coming back by Saturday because he'll be coming off the injured list on August 22nd. And hopefully there won't be any setbacks. And knowing Judge, he would want to be in the lineup. So let's hope he'll be back Saturday, and that would be against the Mets.
You know something too, though. Let me just talk about Aaron Judge real quick, right? I don't understand why, like he hurt his ribs, right, from sliding, right? I don't understand. I don't know if they do or they don't, but how come they don't wear padding under their jerseys? I always wondered why.
Right.
Because basketball players, right? They have a special tank top that has padding around the ribs.
Oh,
If you ever knew that, they have a special tank top that has padding around the ribs. And if I was a baseball player, I would definitely be wearing that because if you get hit by a pitch, in the ribs, that could save you because it has padding there. And
yeah,
they have padding for the hips too. In basketball. So I wonder if those
right.
guys, wear that type of stuff, or maybe or maybe it makes them look like a football player or something like that. Maybe the padding shows or something like that. I'm not sure, but I know they wear knee pads. I know they wear knee pads under their pants. But I think they should take that into consideration of wearing padding under their jerseys. I don't
Well,
see
some
why
of the
not.
pitchers now, like Tanaka, are wearing reinforced material within their hats now to give them protection in case of line drives. And I believe Tanaka is wearing a reinforced type of plastic material that is inside of his hat now, and that many of the pitchers are starting to do that. And really, when you think about it, batting helmets really just came in the 1950s when Nicky Mantle started his career in 1951. You know, they were not wearing batting helmets, so you can imagine the amount of head injuries and that kind of things that were happening when they were just coming up to home plate, just wearing their caps.
Yeah, I remember when they started promoting the cushion for the hats. It
Right.
was a Mets player that first started wearing it. I forget his name, but it was a Mets player, and he started wearing it in this thing. I don't know if Tanaka had it on that day he got hit in the head against Stanton though. I think he just
No,
started wearing it, right?
he wore it after. I know what you're talking about. It's a hat that's a bit larger, that the players don't like that much. It tends to be a bit larger. But
Yeah.
what Tanaka was wearing was not that hat. He had a reinforced material within the hat, and it did not stick out as big as the one the Met player was wearing.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, I remember that guy. It looked like he had a boxing helmet on. Right, he was
Right.
playing with a boxing helmet, like he was fighting in the Golden Globes. you know?
Exactly. Exactly. This is a inner type of piece of reinforced plastic that he's wearing within the cap itself. And it is not the super large hat. That they were trying to introduce into the majors, and it took a while for batting helmets to take hold. Also in the 1950s, and then
Yeah,
I forget what year it was, but they became mandatory in the 1950s, and everyone
yeah.
had to wear batting.
I think the coolest helmets that they ever made were the velour ones. Have you ever seen the
Yeah.
velour helmet up close? I've seen
No,
them.
I'm not.
They have some in the Baseball Hall of Fame that they
Aha.
that they made out of velour material. It looks like the
Oh,
actual Yankee hat, but it's a helmet. But it's made out of
oh,
velour. I think they wore that
I
in the
see.
'70s or something like that, or the '60s or something like that.
I don't remember them.
Those are really
I
nice.
don't.
Um, um, Roberto Clemente has a. I saw Roberto Clemente's helmet. That's velour too. The Pirates helmet. That's a velour Pirates
Right.
helmet. Roberto Clemente, and that was
Oh,
early '70s, right?
yes. Roberto Clemente went down in a plane crash, I believe, in 1971.
Yeah,
He had about 3,000 hits exactly. He was delivering supplies
yeah,
and a humanitarian effort, and he went down in the crash, in a
right.
plane crash, and that was, I believe, 1971.
Yeah, so those velour helmets have to be late '60s then.
I see.
They
I
had
see.
velour helmets and very nice helmets though, but
Uh-huh.
now the helmets seem like they're better now. I guess, right? I think they're a lot stronger now. The way
Oh
they're
well, they're
making
always
them.
improving. They're always improving equipment every year. You improving equipment every year. And I guess you may have noticed that the Yankees now wear their glossy helmets only at Yankee Stadium, and they wear the matte helmet on the road. Which is more of a dull color. It's called matte style.
Yeah,
MATT.
they've been doing that for a while now. They've been doing that since maybe 2016, I think. or
Right. They've been
2015.
wearing the match helmets on the
Yeah,
road and the glossy helmets at home.
yeah. Now, I mean, shout out Michael again. He's saying that he was talking about the pitching, that the Yankees need starting rotation, and there's nobody that is really scaring the league right now on our rotation. And
Right.
he's saying the ERA is
Wow.
11.24 for starters. So yeah, we need. But who can the Yankees get at the deadline? Who do you think? I mean, I really don't. I mean, they haven't really spoke about it yet. Who's really, who trade bait or whatever like that. But I really think, man, if Severino was back, we would have been good. I would have believed in it. But I still believe in him though. You know what I mean?
But as
But
I said, last outing for Hap was not that bad. Jay Happ did a fairly decent job his last outing, and Tanaka really got knocked around last night, and Lau blasted that home run off of Tanaka, and Tanaka got hit really hard, but the Yankees said battle back, and really with the pandemic season and only 60 games. I will check into it for our next show next week. But a lot of teams are really not looking to make trades and that kind of thing. We'll see what happens
right.
on August 31st. But they don't. They are kind of shying away from doing a lot of movement.
Well, there are teams that would be willing to trade, like the ones that are in last place, like the Red Sox and all them guys, Baltimore Orioles, and all those guys. So there is some type of trade bait somewhere. It's just who. But really, would they be good to pitch in Yankee Stadium? That's the real thing. You know what I mean?
Right,
And will they be
right.
able to fit in that rotation? I really don't see anybody fitting in the rotation like that. I wish Severino was back. You know, and it'll be a lot stronger. But Michael's saying Luis Castillo, member from the
Oh,
Reds, we can
right.
get. That's a good one. That'll be
That is
heavy.
a good one, Michael. Thank you for checking in with us. That is pretty good.
So in my opinion, like I said, Hap, and the other guy, they should have been traded last year. You know,
I know you're not fans of either one of them. Paxton has been up and down. Paxton. Remember last year on our vlogs, we would say Paxton is pitching tonight when we were together, and you'd say, "What is the over under on the home run in the first inning?" And
yeah.
sure enough, he would give up the home run.
I was saying in Las Vegas, they were calling him Easy Money.
Easy money, yes,
Easy
exactly.
Money,
We were
boy.
pretty by the tree. We saw Paxton a number of times. I got to 9 games last year and one Brooklyn Cyclones game. So I was in 10 of your vlogs last year, April, July, and September. September was a lot of vlogs for me last year. I was in 5 of them last year at
Yeah,
the end of the year. And the last time we saw one another face to face was at the end of the Sunday game, and I went over and overspent on instant coffee and got instant coffee from the store across from Yankee Stadium, and then
yeah.
we parted company. And then, sure enough, the pandemic hit, and we've been keeping great contact through media now, and doing a great job. And I can't wait to see you in person again.
That's true, man. Um, I wanted to say, if they had all those betting sites open last year, like in New Jersey that they do now, I would have been a super millionaire already betting against the Yankees. Forget about it. I would have been the
Right,
ultimate Pete Rose, man. You know what I'm saying? I would have been betting against Hap every night. Hap is
right,
easy money, and Paxton is Mo money. Mo money and
yeah,
easy money. Bet on them to
exactly.
give up a home run in the first inning. You got it. You got an easy $100. You know.
Right, right. That is true.
But
hopefully we'll see how it goes. The Yankees have Garrett Cole going tonight, and we have to get this win tonight against the Rays.
well, Michael says there's no really good pitchers to pick up, right? And nobody
Right.
wants to trade with Baltimore because they suck, right? What about we pick up
Baltimore's actually at 500. They're right behind Tampa Bay.
True, but here's a question: how about we pick up Bartolo Colon?
Oh my goodness! Holy cow! He's about 50 years old now, isn't he?
Yeah, but he was ready to pitch. He wanted to pitch. You think you think if you gave him a shot, he'll do better than the guys we got now?
I don't know. Not at this point. I don't believe so. He probably weighs about 400 pounds now.
He's like a cat, that guy. He has flex moves like a
Yeah.
cat. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Bartolo was good for the Yankees. Bartolo did a good job in his tenure with the Yankees.
yeah, he sure did, man. That was a good spot, man. And you know, at that time too, we had Kuroda. Remember Kuroda?
Yes, Hiroki Kuroda. Yes.
It's sad, man, because I wish he would have won a championship, man, because that dude was durable. He ain't never get hurt. Kuroda. And he pitched for
He was
like
very good.
and he pitched for like what, like 6, 7, 8 years, something like that for the Yankees?
Yeah. Yeah. And he had a long career in Japan as well.
Yeah, he sure did. He should have I wish he would have lasted a little longer, you know?
Yes.
But
Yes.
they were hell bent on Severino becoming a starter and all that, you know. So that kind of messed them up. So they should have kept Kuroda and held back on Severino. You know, maybe
Kuroda wanted to go back to Japan. Is what really happened. They were offering Kuroda, I believe, another year, but Kuroda said he wanted to leave the United States and go back to Japan.
yeah, maybe so. But if the Yankees would have offered the money, he would have stayed. That's bottom line.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. That's true.
That's bottom line.
That's
But he should have stayed one more year and let Severino work on his game a little bit better. Because I still think they rushed him. They rushed him to be a starter. You know, they rushed him. You know, and they did that with a lot of people. The worst one that they did it to was Jabba Chamberlain. Remember Jabba Chamberlain?
Oh, yeah. That's a sad story, Jabba Chamberlain.
And talk about Jabba Chamberlain. I just saw an article about Jabba Chamberlain. He's auctioning stuff in his house because he's broke. He's out of money. Yeah, he's out of money. Sad story, man. He's auctioning off all his things in his house because he's actually broke. He's lost all his money. I don't know what happened to his father, man. My dad used to guard his father when he came to Yankee Stadium.
Right,
you know?
Right. He was in a wheelchair.
He was in a wheelchair, and his father was signing autographs. Like he was somebody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like he was somebody. His father was signing autographs. You know,
Wow.
and because you know my father, he worked behind the dugout of the Yankees, right behind the battle circle, and that's mostly where the mayor walked through. The mayor seats are down there and stuff like that. You know, he even had my father even got into an altercation with George Steinbrenner's grandson. You know?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, which was crazy, yo. And well, I'll tell you the story real quick.
Okay.
It was a hot summer afternoon. Giambi came back. I think it was that same season Giambi got sick. Talking about Giambi and all that season, right? George Steinbrenner's grandson came down to the box saying, you know, let me in. I'm George Steinbrenner's grandson. He said, nah, I can't let you in here. You need a ticket. Right? He said, I'm George Steinbrenner's grandson. Let me in. He said, no, I can't let you in. You got to get a ticket. Go. He said, go back to your grandfather. My father told him, go back to your grandfather and tell him to give you a ticket to come down here. Sure enough, that guy came back with 2 security guards, a ticket, and he gave my father a giant bottle of Poland spring water.
Wow.
And then he pointed. Wow. And then he pointed to his father, his grandfather, Steinbrenner, sitting in the box. And Steinbrenner said, like gave him the wave to my father, like let him in, he's good.
Wow.
True
Wow,
story,
that's an
yeah.
incredible story.
Yeah,
That
true
is an
story.
incredible story.
You
I
know?
know you and I, we have connections to the Yankees going back a long way. When I take it back as far as I can take it, my great grandmother, Nanny Mac, was a huge Yankee fan. I believe I told you the story, and she's been dead for 30 years now. But she, uh, as a young woman, saw Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig play, and she lived on Staten Island, New York City, all her life. And I would come over to visit my great grandmother on a Saturday afternoon, and we would sit down in front of WPIX Channel 11 and watch the Yankees on Saturday afternoon together. And my great grandmother Nanny Mac would have a bowl of ice cream and pour a can of beer over the top of it.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Um, um, Michael Caputo was talking about that. The players are getting hurt more and more. Like we just spoke about earlier.
Right.
Runners in scoring position has been horrible for the Yankees all the time. You know,
They're really scoring with the home run, with the long ball.
forever it's been like that. You know, even when Jeter was playing, you know, like I don't know how Jeter got 3,000 hits because like Jeter was an automatic out. You know what I'm saying? In those years with runners that talk about runners in scoring position, Jeter was an automatic out. Let's be real. It was a ground ball to third base or a ground ball to the first baseman. That was it. And then he gonna run real hard and beat it out and then put his head down and turn and walk into the dugout. You know? So the only person I think that was successful in with runners on base was A-Rod because he broke the record for grand slams. You know what I mean?
Right.
But any other than that, I mean, it's been really bad with runners in scoring position. Right now, it's been good. The Yankees actually been hitting some type of the last 2 years. The Yankees have been hitting. You know, but really, the Yankees don't really have runners in scoring position because they're always hitting home runs. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, they're practicing. They've been known throughout their history as a home run hitting team. When you take it back to close to 100 years ago, in 1927, Babe Ruth himself out-homered every other team in the American League with his 60 home runs in 1927. He out-homered every other team in the American League, and Lou Gehrig out-homered every other team except two teams. Could you imagine what the other teams thought of seeing Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig come in?
Yeah, I can't imagine, man. But the thing is like the home run is killing the team though. You know, because the more home runs you hit, that means there's less base hits you hit. You know what I mean? There's less RBIs. There's less stolen bases. It's basically everything is less because you're hitting home runs. So you're not bringing anybody around. You know, it's like, so it's a terrible baseball card at the end of the day. You know
What
what I
you're
mean?
talking about is what you're talking about is the fundamentals of the game are suffering. I find home runs exciting.
Yeah.
It's about the fundamentals, the hit and run, the sacrifice fly, the move the runner over, the bunt. The bunt is history now. No one is doing the bunt anymore. It is Phil Rizzuto used to be a major bunter back in the 40s and 1950s, and almost no one is bunting. So what I believe you're trying to say is that the fundamentals are suffering a bit, and everybody's swinging for the fences.
Yeah. It's no, but and also it's like when you look at the old time, let's say old school baseball card. Let's say like Ricky Henderson, let's say, right? You're gonna see he has a high percentage of base hits, has a high percentage of stolen bases and RBIs and this and that. If you look at a player today's baseball card, let's say Aaron Judge, right? He has 35 home runs a year, but he only gets like 35 hits because he only hit 35 home runs. You know what I mean? 0 stolen bases and 10 RBIs. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's your baseball card looks bad. I think at the end. You know,
And the 1980s for a while, the Yankees were a running team. Also, when Billy Martin was there, they did a lot of things. They tried to steal home. They tried to steal home base. When Billy Martin was there, he pulled all kinds of tricks. And Ricky Henderson did play a couple of years with the Yankees as well. Ricky Henderson, who played for everyone, also played for the Yankees. And they were a major running team. At that time, Ricky Henderson was playing for the Yankees and Billy was managing.
right, and Michael just put a good point that and those 96 teams, they were the hitting squad, you know?
Right.
And then it's like the
Yes.
game changed. You know, after when did let me see. I think well, after 9/11 the game was totally different completely.
Right.
It
Right.
totally changed,
98.
you know?
98, one of the greatest team that I saw was the 98 Yankees, during my lifetime. And that was also the year of Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa in 98 as
Yeah.
well, when they were challenging to get Roger Maris's home run record. So that's when the steroid era was in full swing, and they were really moving more towards home runs in 98. And that was, as I said, the year of McGuire and Sosa. And the Yankees had several players that hit 27 home runs for the Yankees. And the Yankees did hit a lot of home runs, but they were spread out. The Yankees were an all around great hitting team in 1998.
And not to mention, we have to talk about the baseball scandal too. The actual baseball scandal that we uncovered last winter.
Right.
Allegedly, in the 2018 playoffs and 2018, they lightened up the ball somehow, right? And then in all of 2019, they lightened up the ball somehow, and they said it's like a centimeter, and a centimeter makes the ball fly like an airplane. And then when
This,
that right, when that finally got discovered by around the playoffs, and then all of a sudden the ball didn't have that same pop again.
right. I noticed that during the playoffs, they were wondering, did they bring back the less lively ball for the playoffs?
Yeah, so like last year, what they were saying is the same baseball that was hit with the same velocity, the same exit velocity, and whatever, that same
Mhm.
baseball wasn't flying out for a home run in the playoffs.
Right, right. I understand what you're saying, and
You know?
that's what the controversy was. Did they bring in a less lively ball for the playoffs? And that was a major controversy.
Yeah, it was, man. I think they're doing something to the baseball. I
Right,
think they are. You know, but it's so hard to notice. You know, I mean, it's
right.
a slight difference. You know, who knows where they making these balls? They're probably making them in the Pentagon in Area 51
Well,
somewhere. You
they
know what I mean? The aliens are
well,
probably making these baseballs. You
Major
know,
League Baseballs are made in Costa Rica.
you know they're probably putting gravity dust on them. You know, to make them
Yeah,
fly. Yeah, who knows? You know, but that's just the way it is,
Tinkerbell
man.
dust. Tinkerbell dust.
Yeah, like Tinkerbell, man. But you know, like the question really is, man, will we live to see the Yankees win another championship, or will we live to see 30 championships?
Wow. Wow. Really, with the way the world is today, let's just take it one day at a time. There's no way of predicting, any number of different things as far as the world is concerned. And we'll just work on this year. It has been a very, very rough year with multiple crises happening at the same time. And the pandemic, the climate crisis, the pandemic, the economic crisis, and so on and so forth. And we just have to take it one day at a time, and let's just see how the Yankees do this year. Hopefully, they'll be able to get through the season and have the playoffs. And let's see if the Yankees can win it this year.
I would like to see the Yankees win, man, but it's real depressing that you can't go to the game. You know,
Oh
it's
yes, I know you live for that. You live for that. You live right next door to Yankee Stadium, and you absolutely that is your passion. Your entertainment passion is going to Yankee Stadium and doing the vlogs. And I know it's a big loss for you. So let's hope we could at least have some fans back in by next year.
yeah. You know what? I don't think they're gonna get fans next year, man, because a lot of people aren't watching baseball. You
Mm.
know, I really think the ratings of baseball is down. I
I
really
haven't
think
checked them. I don't know.
I just have a feeling it's not as good because like when you can actually go to the game, you know, like let's say let me give you a scenario. Let's say you're at a job, right? You have a job, and people may not even know nothing about the Yankees, but just because people went to the game, they'll talk about the Yankees. You know, oh man,
Right.
we went to the game last week and we had a good time. And then they start following the Yankees and talking about it. You know, people aren't going to the games. So the Yankees aren't really being talked about. I'm in the sun over here now. You know?
In Tampa Bay, it's a different story. They have an older population in the St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay area, and
That's
their
right.
television ratings are very good. But nobody likes to go to the Trop. The Trop seems to be out of the way, and it's difficult to get to, and they draw poor crowds. When they're allowing people in to the Rays games, but their TV ratings are very good. So it's the opposite way down in
You,
Tampa Bay.
you know how you solve that problem with Tropicana? You build a monorail to the stadium. Simple as that.
Right.
That's
I
it.
know.
Build a monorail that goes through all those neighborhoods and get on the train and it takes you there. That's all they got to do. You know, but anyway, Florida is a like it's a clown state in my opinion. It's a bozo state, man. Those people down there, it's like I don't even know why they alive for. This is horrible.
I know.
You know, that's like they only
You
want to do
ever
is sit in their backyard. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
well, how about with the news, for example, where you always hear about somebody doing something crazy in the news. It's always Florida man.
Yeah, and they always killing somebody
Florida
too.
man. Florida man does that, you know.
uh, Wait, Michael wants me to shout out his cousin. In
Oh, okay.
1977, he went to a Yankee game on Bad Day for Reggie Jackson, and he said we went there and the people were getting jumped. Really? Yeah, that's true. That'll happen.
The 70s were a crazy time,
Shout out to your cousin.
Michael.
What's
I'd
his
like
name?
you
And I'll tell
to
his name. So wait, say that again.
70s were a crazy time. I mean, you remember the Chris Chambliss home run against Mark Littell and the Kansas City Royals when the Yankees won the pennant in '76 to go into the World Series against the Cincinnati Reds. The fans absolutely charged the field, and Chris Chambliss almost got hurt running the bases. It is a massive, massive scene of thousands of people charging the field and being on the field right after Chris Chambliss hit the home run in '76, and that happened for quite a number of years, where the fans were really charging the field, and that took place quite a bit in the '70s.
Okay, so Michael's cousin's name was Michael too, just
Um,
like him. So shout out to your cousin, man. And man, yeah, that's crazy times, man. And at Yankee Stadium, man, people getting yeah. This neighborhood was very bad in those days, very bad.
I
I
was there.
mean,
I was there. I was there. Remember, I've got a few years on you, so I know how it was around there. There is a series that came out called the summer of '77, I believe, that came out, and that was about the 1977 season with Billy Martin as manager and Reggie Jackson coming in, and they put that in along with what was happening in the summer of '77 in New York City with the Son of Sam, the 44 caliber killer, and the New York City blackout, and it is a pretty good series. And I forget what it's called. I think it's called the Summer of '77,
It's
or the
called The
Bronx
Bronx
is
is
burning.
right. It's called The
The
Bronx
Bronx
is
is
Burning.
burning.
Yeah, it's a good.
Right.
That's a good one. But
But
yeah, that was really bad, man. Those days, if you parked your car around Yankee Stadium, 9 out of 10 times it was getting
find it
stolen.
up on cinder blocks when you come back. You find it
Yeah,
sitting on top of cinder when you come back.
yeah,
Exactly.
it was getting broken into, man. That's a fact. And there was a lot of crackheads around here, boy. It was
Oh yeah.
serious. Yeah, man. It was serious,
Oh
man.
yeah. Well, I would be a teenager. In I was 14 years old in '78, and Yankee Stadium was a little bit off the hook. As a 14-year-old, I could go up to one of the concession stands and get myself a big beer.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I would uh, I would get myself a big beer, and I'd be walking along, and there'd be guys passing the joints back and forth and offering me. It was crazy. It was off the hook.
it was dirty too back in those days. The area was very dirty back in
Oh
those days.
yeah, yeah. Well, you'd always see a fire burning off in the distance, because at that time, the landlords, the building owners, the property values had plummeted in the South Bronx, and they turned into a war zone. The owners of the buildings were hiring arsonists to burn down their buildings so they can collect the insurance money. And the South Bronx at that time looked like a war zone.
Yeah, that's why there's really no skyscrapers in the Bronx. It's all really residential housing because they had to build back the Bronx quickly. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was really bad, man. Compared to what it is now, it's like night and day. You
Oh
know?
yeah, oh yeah. I was a teenager at that time. I would go up on the subways. The subways were covered with graffiti, and I just watched my butt pretty good. I never had any problems ever going to Yankee Stadium, even as a teenager. But yeah, it was a wild and crazy time. But anyway, it's getting close to the time where I'm going to have to watch my nephew soon, and we're going to have to take care of having some dinner. So I think we went a long period of time here, and I hope everybody enjoys the baseball game tonight. And
Yeah,
we'll
man.
end on that good note there.
I can't wait for the playoffs to start, man. I'm gonna be hanging out outside when the playoffs starts, definitely.
Yeah,
But
definitely, definitely.
but but right now, man, there's really nothing happening at Stan's Sports Bar or Billy Sports Bar or anything. There's really nothing happening. So it's like, don't even waste your time going there. It's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but
Well,
anyway,
we're fortunate to have what we have right now,
exactly.
with everything that's happened.
I just want the Yankees to steal the World Series, man. Can we just do that? And before we go, the whole Astros team seems like it's going to be breaking up next year. Nobody seems they want to go back to the Astros next year. So all your can hitting players are gonna be on the different teams. You know.
Wow, that is something.
But it's a
That's
cold
for
summer
sure.
though, definitely. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank Michael, and thanks for your cousin and everything. And hopefully we steal the World Series.
Henry.
And Henry was on the thing too, and hopefully everybody else could join together and send energy through the TV, I guess, for them to win. And yeah, we need to win the World Series. Hopefully we could do it this year. And we have the actual power to do it. It says like it's not over. It's not like
Oh,
we're underdogs or anything. We're actually the favorites. So
right.
yeah, so they just have to keep playing and hopefully it happens. You know?
Yes.
But anyway, thanks for watching. Go and subscribe, hit the like button, and follow us on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. And we'll see you on the next one. And so long, everybody. See ya.
Take care.